Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of What the Hell Is This and What's Going On? So today we have two pieces of the Grease collection that they had with Makeup Revolution. This is a Grease and Makeup Revolution collab. I remember when this first came out, I personally did not care for it because I wasn't really interested in the color story, and don't do it. Please don't destroy me down in the comments, but I haven't seen Grease, so I don't have any nostalgia for this film or this musical. I remember when it came out, I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. Whatever, moved on with my life. So recently, if you go to your TJMaxx, your Marshall, your Ross, they brought all the Valentine's Day stuff out, right? So they have all this Valentine's Day stuff out, but where I found Miss Thang right here is in the clearance aisle, and I was like, girl, like I put a little bit of tape here to fix it, but this was like ripped open, there was a hole, and it was just like dirty as hell. I kind of cleaned it up already, but I ended up picking this up. I was like, let me do what I've been doing, which is I'll pull it out to see how bad it is, how touched is it, how broken is it. Y'all, I pulled this out, it had not been swatched. This was sitting all ripped up and dirty underneath a bunch of other palettes, and it had not been touched. I was shook. I was not expecting it. So for $5.50, I thought I would try it. And I know this is just your usual red, pink, purple palette, but I was feeling Valentine's Day, and I was like, for $5.50 for this huge palette. So this is the box. And in the back here we can see that, you know, this is the way it's opened, and it has the numbers, and based off the number you can read what ingredients are in there. This will dye your skin. I personally don't have an issue with it because I wear makeup pretty much every day, so I don't have an issue. But it's a card. It's a card. It says Grease. That's the outside. I know the packaging is all ripped up and ugly, and you can tell there, like, before this was $5.50, it was $7. Before it was $7, it must have been something else and something else. The price on this looks like it's changed 4 times based off the amount of prices they have on here. So I thought, you know what, for $5.50, that's not bad. Especially for a palette that is not touched. This is what the palette looks like. It opens up from the bottom, so not from the top, and you can fold this back just so you can have this. And I don't want to say this isn't the type of palette I go for, because I definitely wear all of these colors, but it's not something where I'm like, I immediately need to have it. And I absolutely hate this palette. When I saw it, I'm like, it'd be fun to use and then give away. So I'm like, I'm not going to keep it. But then I was using it, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep it. But then I thought about it again. I'm like, I'm not keeping it. I'm not keeping it. I don't need it. I have these colors somewhere else in a better formula. I don't need it. But then I was finishing up the last of the looks because I used every single color in this palette, and I'm like, I think I might keep it. So I'm totally in a love-hate relationship with this palette, especially because of the packaging. But there's a lot of things that I love, and there's a lot of things I don't like about this palette. I think for now I'm going to keep it. I may eventually declutter it, but for now, like, I was kind of shook. I was just having so much fun with this palette, and I wasn't expecting to. There are shades in here that on the eye, listen, something like this and this, on the eye, I was kind of like, But somehow, the thing about these colors that I was really surprised about was that at the end of the day, everything kind of had, like, it all kind of ended up coming together, and it had a glow, and it was so pretty, and I was so shook. But we have these 3, really, and you can see here, this is what I don't like about it. You can tell right here, if we can zoom in and focus, this has hard panned. It's pretty much hard panned, but it was still a really pretty color to use, and these are very light. Y'all know I don't really fuck with the light colors, but these ended up actually being quite pretty, and I came back to these 3 colors to use as highlight, and they absolutely did work as highlights. It gave you a glow. It wasn't a super intense metallic or shimmery or sparkly look, but it was enough of a glow, and it was really pretty, and I really did like it. And then we have some other issues in this palette that I don't like. For instance, the rids, while extremely extremely pigmented, and each one of these is like, these are two different types of reds. I feel like you can totally tell that. This one's more of a red orange, and this is more of like a true red, maybe a bit of cooler red. And while they're both very pigmented and will stain your skin, they were a bit difficult to use. I was kind of giving, what's it called? Lunar Beauty. They kind of wanted to be placed, not really moved around, but they were extremely pigmented. I mean, the pigment is there. You cannot lie about the pigment, but even though it was difficult to move around, I did appreciate the level of intensity this palette has. This shade also I found very interesting, because to me this looked like a kind of muted red with a kind of silvery shift, but this is actually more of like a pink. This is like a pink, and I was not expecting that. So I really enjoyed this palette. There's a couple of shades in here. I don't know, I feel like it all makes sense. Even a shade like this white. It's a good white. It is a bright white, which is kind of surprising, especially with, like for example, that Bella Beauté bar palette that I tried. It was so sheer, that white, but look at this white from Makeup Revolution. For less than $6 in the clearance bin, and that white is better than that one. We also have like these two golds here. We have one that's a lot more flaky, and one, oh, this is so smooth, and one that's not as flaky. This is also more of a, I guess, a true gold versus a little bit more of a white gold, you could say. These were also, you know, quite pretty to use. I feel like they lasted decently well, and this palette's more about the glow than it is about being super sparkly or super out there. Let's see if I can move my light a little bit more this way. So add a little bit more light, maybe that'll help. But I mean, overall, does this look red to you guys? I think it's more of a pink. Yeah, this is definitely like a hot pink, but it can also look like a bit like a red, almost like a hot Cheeto red. So I mean, they're pigmented. I'm definitely gonna have to brush my arm right, but I'm gonna keep this palette for now. I definitely, oh my god, where did all this dirt come from? I think I recommend this palette for what it is. For $4, if you catch this at your local, you know, your TJMaxx, and you're interested in it, I definitely say pick it up, have fun with it. I really like this. I think the worst shade in here for me is this black. This black was just so intensely patchy. It was just not good. It was not very good. So maybe be aware, be a little careful with that one. But other than that, like, I think everything else pretty much performed from what I expected a $550 palette to perform as. I don't think it's that bad. I'm glad I didn't buy this at full price, but this was fun. This was cute. I liked it. I'm going to keep it for now, but I'm definitely in a kind of love-hate relationship with this palette. And speaking of this palette, the other item that I was able to find from this collection is this lipstick. And I don't think I need any more lipsticks, but y'all, it was $1. It was $1. Again, you can see here, this was probably the third or fourth time this had been priced down. This tape job was TJMaxx. That was not my tape job. But I opened it up. I was like, hey, let me see. How bad is the lipstick? How used is it? This is the bullet. And I was like, okay, let me open it up. This is the shade of the color. And it was pretty much not touched. It looked like it had been kind of touched over here on this side, with maybe like a finger, like it had been touched like that, but not the actual place where you press your lips. So again, I was super surprised. You can see there's a little pair of lips right there. I was not expecting that. And this is what the shade looks like. It's so nice, so creamy. I really enjoy this lipstick. I actually had to just pull this lipstick from my purse. It's like a kind of like a pinky peach, maybe a little mauve. It's hard to really describe what shade this is, but looking at the outside of the box it's in, I just discovered this right before I started filming. So based off the box, I would think that the lipstick name is Rizzo. It's not Rizzo. I happened to look at the bottom of the lipstick. The bottom of the lipstick says Sandy. This is the Makeup Revolution lipstick in shade Sandy, not shade Rizzo. This lipstick is in the wrong box. I don't know what happened to the original box. I don't know what happened to the lipstick that was actually in here, but one way or another, it looks like I'm wondering now if maybe the top of this was ripped off by TJMaxx itself to put a similar lipstick from this collection into this box, because this is not the lipstick. So this is Sandy. The lipstick I've been using is Sandy. It is not Rizzo. So now I'm kind of like, wait, do I keep the box now or not? But yeah, this is, let's see, is there a specific name? No, it's just called lipstick. It says some people are so touchy. I really liked this lipstick. I absolutely recommend the lipstick from this collection. This is a very light, kind of pretty standard original scent that you think of with lipsticks. It's not scentless, but it has that very light kind of floral smell. It's very, very light. Once it's on your lips, you won't even notice it. But I really love the packaging for this bullet lipstick. It is really nice, and I especially loved the formula. I was surprised by how nice the formula is. It went on so smoothly. It was so buttery. I think for a lipstick, a bullet lipstick, it lasted decently well as well. Decently long as well. And I love this collection together. Like, this makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm surprised by how much fun I had using this palette, as much as I was going back and forth to whether I loved it or hated it. I think overall, you can see there's info in that back as well. Overall, I think if you see this, locally in your stores and you're interested in it, I do recommend it. You do have to work with it maybe a little bit more than you would any other palette, but it was fun. I really liked the colors that I've been using for this past week. I made some really fun February Valentine's Day looks with this. Let me know down below if you're daring enough to wear a red and pink look for Valentine's Day. But other than that, you'll have a great day.